What's up, traders? So today I have an urgent warning for all investors. So we'll take a look at the current state of the market, and we'll take a look at a few stocks that are looking like perfect buying opportunities as we speak. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Rashad. I am a full-time options trader, and I bring in the bulk of my income via the stock market. But of course, before we do anything, go ahead, take your phone and smash that like button. It just helps push the video out to more people. And do remember that this is not financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any equities or options contracts. All trading comes with risk, and results may vary. But of course, I'll always start with a word from God that has to do with money, wealth building, our business. And since we are entering into March, I'm going to start with a new theme, which is God as the source. And so we'll start with 2 Chronicles 1:12, and it says, "Therefore, wisdom and knowledge will be given to you. And I will also give you wealth, possessions, and honor." And so the easy to read version states wisdom is central and God can add material blessings too. And this just speaks to the fact that he can bless us with all the things that we need, but he can also bless us with all the things that we want to, but it needs to be in addition to all the things that we are required to do. I remember several years ago telling a friend that I was praying for a Lamborghini. And of course, when I told him that, he kind of looked at me in a weird face. And I said, a Lamborghini is nothing but some scrap metal with 4 rubber tires at the bottom of it. What is that to the God that created the entire universe? Okay, I do not limit my God. He can provide all wants and needs according to his wishes. All right, so I hope that blesses somebody out there. But speaking of people who are being blessed, let me shout out members of the Trade to Freedom community. So first off, we have Daniel, who says, "Not sure what happened today, but I'm grateful for the day I'm having. Thank God, Rashad, and all of you. He made $770 on that day alone." Shout out to you, Daniel. And he is actually a brand new member in the community, just joined, I think just a little under a week ago, and he's already putting the fundamentals of our strategies into place. So shout out to you. And then we have another member who says, "There is nothing in 0DTE quite like a good morning plummet down and noodle around to make the premiums nicer while the trading is still easy." We can see he pulled in $970 on that day and did nearly 2% on his entire account. So that is amazing. Then we have Jose, who is bringing in hundreds of dollars every single day, as we can see here, and he's pretty much Mr. Consistency. And then lastly, we have Benjamin here, who says, "Best day so far to add to the best 2 weeks so far." And we can see he made $5,012 just today alone. And we can see here he's destroying the market by all means necessary. And so Benjamin, shout out to you, man. And if you guys know anybody who is looking to trade to freedom, tell them about the community. The link is below in the description. We would absolutely love to have you and help you reach your goals for 2026. All right, link is below in the description. But with that, let's get down to business. Now, today we had PPI results, and it came in much higher than what was expected. All right, so inflation's creeping up just slightly, but we can see it reads here, the core PPI, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, increased a seasonally adjusted 0.8%, more than the 0.6% gain in December, and well ahead of the Dow Jones consensus estimates for 0.3%. Now, the reason that this isn't good for the market is because with inflation going up, that decreases the likelihood that we get more interest rate cuts. Now, looking at the CME Fed Watch tool, this shows us the likelihood that the Fed will reduce rates coming up soon. And so if we look at the next meeting, which is for March 18th, we can see right now there is a 94% chance that they just stick with the rates that we're at now, so no cut, and about a 5.9% chance that they cut. All right, so the chances are there will be no cut during this upcoming meeting. But if we go out to April, then we can see there is a much higher probability of a cut. There's about 22% for April. And then if we go out to June, there's about an even percent chance that we stay the same versus having a quarter basis cut. But as of right now, June is looking like the earliest date that we may cut rates even more. Now, of course, we have a new Fed chair coming in. And so once that change officially occurs, then things may change. But that is the data that we have as of right now. Now, when it comes to the total market, we are officially going to have our first red month since last April. All right, so looking at this chart here, we've been in for quite a ride, right? We had the whole tariff drama of last year that was during March and part of April. And then since then, we really haven't had that much volatility, all right? It's pretty much been a pretty huge uptrend since then. However, February marks our first red month since. Now, to be honest with you, if you panicked during this month, then you really shouldn't have, because this isn't any movie that we have not seen before. And let me show you. And so here we have the S&P 500 seasonal returns. And so looking at this month thus far, and as of the recording of this video, we can see that January went up 1.47%, and we went down about 0.96% this month. However, if you look at just last year, it looks kind of similar. All right, a nice green month last year, and then down 1.27% in February. So although the January and February returns for this year and last year are slightly different as far as rate of return, it's not that much different. All right, so this is not a movie that we have not seen before. Now, coming up in March, we can see that March typically averages about a little less than 1% returns for the month. Obviously, last year we had the whole tariff thing and Liberation Day and all the things that came with that. And so we had a very negative catalyst that gave us this huge red month last March. But even with that, we know how the rest of the year panned out. Now, that being said, we did have a lot of volatility in the tech sector. And so I made this graphic to show the percent from all-time highs that a lot of our huge tech companies are at right now. Okay, so we have Microsoft down 29% from its all-time high, Meta down 18%, NVDA 15%, Google 11%, Apple 8%, Tesla 20%, Amazon 18%, Netflix 37%. Now, this was also with it going up, I believe the last time I checked, about 12% just today. All right, so that is with that factored in, and it's still down 37% from its all-time highs. But meanwhile, the S&P 500 is only down 2%. All right. And so with that, let me tell you the message that I gave to the community. I said, take a close look at the graphic I just created. On the surface, the broader market looks completely fine. The S&P 500 is only sitting 2% down from its all-time high. But when you look under the hood at the large tech companies, it is a completely different story. The data tells me one thing: we are officially in a stock pickers market. Think about the math here. If these massive heavyweight companies are down this significantly and it only dragged the overall market down 2%, it means other sectors are currently doing the heavy lifting to keep the index afloat. But once these tech giants finally bottom out and turn around, the overall market could head substantially higher from here. Many of these companies are now trading at a very attractive PE ratio, especially when you factor in their massive yearly growth. Stop fearing the red days. Use the volatility in this market to get great companies at great prices. All right. And I absolutely mean this. I really think that you can pick any great company at this point that has had quite a decent sell-off, and you will do very well in the future. Now, are these companies done selling off right at this very moment? I'm not sure. What I do know is if you were to buy these stocks or use any option strategy to get access to these companies, I do believe they will be much higher here in the near-term future. And the large tech stocks are not the only stocks that sold off. We had obviously a huge sell-off in software as people believe that AI is just going to replace pretty much everything in the world at this point. All right, at some point, they're going to think that AI is going to replace humans. But most tech software stocks have been selling off, and this is IGV. And so this follows the entire software market. And so although, yes, it has had quite a huge sell-off as it peaked around 120-ish back in September, and now is down to 81. But if we look here, this isn't an area that the software companies are not used to being in. So this is the last 5 years, and I have the weekly charts pulled up. But if we look here, right here, it's right at a pretty common level that it has bounced off of for several years now. All right, it touched this level in early 2024, bounced up and retested it again in April of 2024, then again, and then it finally bounced up, and then the whole tariff drama came and it crashed down during March and April. And then with the rest of the market, it went right back up, and here we are again now with the AI scare. Now, do I believe that AI will replace some software? Yes, for sure. But some of this is overblown. And an example of this would be, I do think that Intuit may be in trouble because I do believe that, hey, things like TurboTax, I do believe that AI will be able to do taxes here in the very near future. All right, because with that, you can take the IRS code and then insert all your W-2s, your business income, your deductions, your credits, and all of those things are more numerical. So I can definitely see a product like that being replaced by AI. But if we look at a company like Adobe, which has photo and video editing software, well, that's not really numerical. Now we're going off of opinions. We're going off of people's preferences. We're going off of what some people think looks good and what other people may think looks horrible. You know, it's more of an art on how you want your pictures edited or how you want your videos edited or how you create a video. Whereas tax deductions, those are just numbers. And so I do think that AI could replace something like that here in the near future. But for the most part, from what I'm seeing, AI is being used to make these software companies even better. So I say all of that to say this warning. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. Do not let the volatility and all of the red days scare you out of your positions. Everybody loves quoting Warren Buffett, be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy. However, when everybody is fearful, most people are never greedy. They actually become fearful as well. And if you go back and you look at the history and look at anybody who was actually greedy when others were fearful, then we can simply look at a chart and know that they made out very well. And so looking back at this graphic here, which companies do I like the most? Well, pretty much all of these companies are in a great financial position currently. They're all doing fundamentally great. Well, Tesla, can be a little iffy. But other than Tesla, all of these companies are growing dramatically fundamentally. Now, of this list, Google is definitely the best company by far. However, the stock that is currently the best opportunity in my eyes, well, I see three of them that kind of stick out to me. And so let's talk about the first one. The first one is Netflix. Now, I made a video about Netflix maybe a little over a month ago, but I showed that Netflix was the most oversold it had been in a very, very long time. And the last time it was this oversold was when it was a few years ago before it had this nice little run here. Okay. And so just recently, as of yesterday, Netflix backed out of the Warner Brothers deal, which made investors very happy because now they won't have that massive debt on their books. And on top of that, they'll actually be paid, I think, $2.6 or $2.7 billion for the deal being broken up. And so not only are they getting future debt canceled, but they're also making money from this transaction. And so obviously this situation has weighed down on Netflix for a very, very long time. And what investors do not like is uncertainty, because it was unclear from the get-go on whether Netflix would get Warner Brothers or not. So they just came out last night and said, hey, the new price that Warner Brothers is trying to charge is too much for them, which I don't believe that's true. What I believe is true is that they backed out of the deal because one of their board members was very vocal about how they feel about the president, and they probably assumed that the president would do everything in his power to make sure that the deal did not go through. All right, that's just my opinion. I'm not sure. But regardless, that is done, and we have the results from that, and that caused the stock price to go up 13% just today. All right, so a huge positive catalyst for it. Now, I was selling puts down here, and I got assigned shares at $92. All right, and so I had those shares and I've been selling covered calls on it. And then I also had more put sales at $75, and it actually went as low as $75.01 this week. And bounced up from there. And so obviously I won't get those shares, which is a bummer because I wanted the shares. But I got paid to wait around. And so I still have those shares that I got at $92. But the way this thing is moving, I'll likely have those shares called away from me from the covered call. But what I do want to point out is that this move today brought the weekly stochastic from the oversold area well above 20. All right. And so this could be something that if you are considering a leaps opportunity with how much this stock has pulled back and now it has positive momentum, this could be something to look at. It will definitely be something that I'll be keeping an eye on for the Trade to Freedom community. All right. But I love Netflix. Their business is growing fundamentally very amazingly, and they can easily get back up here to this $130-ish level. Looking at what analysts think, there's about 43 analysts who are covering the stock now, and they have it as a moderate buy, but they collectively have it as a mean target of $113. All right. So even they see some upside from here, I do think that it can go higher than 113. But one thing that is for certain is this is a great company at a great price. The second one is Meta. Now, Meta is trading super cheaply. It is around a 21 forward PE. Right. And that's amazing for a company that is growing at a 30% clip every single year. All right. And so we already know that Meta is a great company fundamentally, but if we look at the technicals, we can see that it's right at a nice little level of support. All right, so I've kind of drawn this support level out here, and we can see that it has been bouncing off of it. But even if that were to fail, then this $600 level here will be a huge level of support for it. And if I can possibly get Meta at $600, that's an absolute steal. I think I have some sold puts at around $595 right now, and I would absolutely love to be assigned those shares because this is certainly an $800 stock. And I do think that it can get back up to that level, right? It was just there in August and nearly went as high as $750 just a month ago, right after announcing their amazing earnings. All right, and so it's just gone back down with the market throughout February. But yeah, it was just $750 a month ago. And that was a result of their great fundamentals, right? The way that they are growing. And so I like everything that I'm seeing from Meta. And if we look at the analysts, there's 56 analysts covering it currently. They all have it as a strong buy, mean target of 865. So they see even higher than 800. Even the most bearish of analysts has it at a $700 price tag, and it's currently below that. All right, so that just kind of shows you the extreme discount that you're getting on Meta as we speak. And so I'm looking forward to buying leaps on Meta, but again, I like for that weekly stochastic to be pointing upwards, and I am fine with waiting till then. All right. Now, does that mean that I don't get it at the absolute bottom? Yes, that's exactly what that means, but chances are you weren't going to get it at the absolute bottom anyway. All right, but that also means that I miss out on a lot of falling knives by being patient and waiting for the data to prove that it is time to go. The next stock is Amazon. All right, Amazon, which was actually up today while the rest of the market was down. As I've said before, I believe that they have the most to gain of any company when it comes to AI automation. They have, or at least had at one point, 1 million employees. And so they are moving forward with trying to build out their AI workload, which will further reduce their payroll costs from paying nearly 1 million people. And so with them already having basically the most revenue of any company in the world, this last quarter they did $190 billion. All right, so that's a crazy amount for a company to do in a span of 3 months. All right, it was just back in, I believe, 2020 when both Amazon and Apple crossed that $100 billion threshold for the very first time. They were the first companies to do so. And now we are getting very, very close to a company doing $200 billion in a single quarter. All right, and so I definitely think Amazon will likely do that this fourth quarter, obviously with all the holiday shopping and stuff. Okay, but yes, I absolutely see that happening this year with Amazon crossing $200 billion in a single quarter. All right, and so they already had this massive revenue, but a lot of it does not go to their bottom line because they have like 1 million employees. And so AI automation, which they've already said they are investing heavily in, will definitely help with that as the years go by. And so just looking at the technicals though, we can see here, looking at the weekly chart, it's kind of at the bottom of the Bollinger Band there. And then we have these levels of support that I drew out right at 200. That is a very strong level of support. And it's also a very psychological level. All right. Anytime you get those multiples of $100, there'll usually always be levels of support or resistance. But if that were to fail for some reason, then we have another level of support at around 190 and another level of support at around 180. All right. And so I am selling puts and credit spreads on Amazon as we speak, just under 200 bucks. And those trades are up nicely. But again, of course, I would be very happy to get shares of Amazon at those cheaper prices, as I believe it's already trading at a discount compared to what they will be doing in the future when it comes to their net income and their free cash flow. All right, guys, but let me know down in the comments below if you like any of these three companies, Netflix, Meta, or Amazon. And let me know what you think they'll do in the future. And also, again, if you would like to trade to freedom, we would absolutely love to have you. The link is below in the description. But with that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.